Hello, dear students. Now we are going to see the poem of the 6th unit, Incident of the French Camp. It was written by Robert Browning. This is Robert Browning. His period was from 1812 to 1889. He was not only a poet, also a drama writer. He was talented in writing dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue means a poem which will be described in a dramatic mode by a single speaker. This is also a dramatic monologue. Our poem is also a dramatic monologue. While learning the poem, we can see that. Totally, this poem comprises 5 stanzas. Each stanza consists 8 lines, and this poem explains the actual incident which was happened in a war. Yes, there was a war between France and Austria in 1809. This war was led by Napoleon Bonaparte. First, he was an army leader. Later, he became the army chief as well as the statesman. He was a very brave warrior. This poem describes the act of chivalry, that means respectable behavior. Gallantry. Gallantry means courageous act. Patriotism. Patriotism means, you know the meaning for patriotism, love for country. And sacrifice. So, there are totally 4 good qualities: chivalry, gallantry, patriotism, and sacrifice. So, this poem describes these 4 qualities of a young French soldier. Okay, now let's see the poem. See the first stanza. You know, we French stormed Ratisbon. You refers to the readers. So the author asked us, do you know? That is referred here, you know. You know, we French refer to not only the French army, the whole people of French, the whole country of France. Okay. So we French stormed Ratisbon. Stormed means violent attack. So the French people attacked violently Ratisbon. Ratisbon is the city of Austria. It's an important city of Austria. In olden days, it was called as Regensburg. So the French has attacked Ratisbon violently to capture it. On a little mound, Napoleon stood on our storming day. Our storming day. Storming day means again violent day. On that violent day, Napoleon was standing on a little mound. Little mound. Mound means little hill. So Napoleon, the army chief, the emperor of France, was standing on a little hill. Okay. Then with neck outthrust, you fancy how, legs wide, arms locked behind, as if to balance the prone brow, oppressive with its mind. With neck outthrust, you fancy how. And another thing I want you to tell, on a little mound Napoleon was standing. That little mound was 1 mile away from the war place. That is given in the second line, a mile or so away. So 1 mile away from the war place. Here the reader asked us to imagine. Fancy means imagine. To imagine how Napoleon was standing. That means his physical appearance while he was standing on a little mound. With neck outthrust. Outthrust, that means neck came forward. Somewhat came forward. In expectation or in some searching. For example, while we are searching somebody or while we are expecting somebody or something, we will make our neck to move forward. In that way, his neck was outthrust as well as His legs were wide. That means he has spreaded his legs very widely. And his hands were locked behind at his backside. At his backside, he locked his hands. Then his eyebrows, see the next two lines, as if to balance the prone brow, oppressive with its mind. Oppressive means very deep thought. So he had many thoughts in his mind. So to balance those thoughts, he made his eyebrows downwards. Prone means downwards. So the eyebrows were balancing the thoughts of his mind. Okay, so can you understand the first stanza? The French army had attacked violently Ratisbon to capture it. During that time, a mile away from the war place, on a little hill, Napoleon was standing by using his hands locked at his backside, by spreading his legs wide, and heavy thoughts in his mind. So to show the heavy thoughts of his mind, the eyebrows were downwards. Now we are going to see the second stanza. Before that, what thinking in his mind? Oppressive thoughts in his mind. No, what thinking in his mind? Whether the army can win or not. That's a deep thought. Those thoughts made him to downwards his eyebrow. Okay, because they have to win the war. They have to capture Ratisbon. Now we are going to see the second stanza. Just as perhaps he mused, my plans that soar to earth may fall. Let once my army leader lanes waver at yonder wall. Just as perhaps he mused again, thoughts. He thought. What he thought? My plans that soar. My plans here refers to the plans of Napoleon. Yeah, this is called as dramatic monologue, because like in the drama, here also some dialogue mode, isn't it? My plans that soar to earth may fall. Let once my army leader lanes waver at yonder wall. This is the dialogue by Napoleon. Usually in a poem there won't be any dialogue, isn't it? So if there is any dialogue, that is called as dramatic monologue. Okay, so here, my plans that soar, my plans, Napoleon's plans. What were the plans of Napoleon? To improve France, to develop France. Yeah, he thought that whether his plans would be succeeded or they would be destructed. To earth may fall means they would be destructed. Napoleon had more plans to develop France. If the army won the war, the plans would be succeeded. Otherwise, all the plans would be wasted. They might fall. So he expected his army leader Lanes. Army leader Lanes, he is called as Lanes. Okay, can you see the picture? Lanes. So he was expecting him. Why? To wave his hands as a sign of victory. Waver at yonder wall means Napoleon was expecting Lanes to wave his hands as a sign of victory. He was expecting his arrival so much with the news of victory. Out twixt the battery smokes there flew a rider, bound on bound, full galloping, nor bridle drew until he reached the mound. Out twixt. Twixt means between the smoke. There was a heavy smoke. It might come because of the galloping of horse, because there was a soldier coming on a horse. So he was coming between the smoke. Bound on bound means very fast. Full galloping. Full galloping means the horse ran very fast. Galloping is the movement of horse. So he was riding the horse at very great speed. nor bridle drew. That means he did not control the speed of the horse. Bridle means it's a rope used to control the speed of the horse, which should be on the horse head or neck. That rope is called as the bridle. So he did not do it because he did not want to control the speed of the horse. So a soldier was coming very fast without controlling the speed of the horse till he reached the hill. Until he reached the mound means till, because the chief was standing on a hill, isn't it? So the soldier wanted to reach that spot very soon. So he came very fast on the horse. Then we are going to see the third stanza. Then off there flung in smiling joy and held himself erect by just his horse mane, a boy you hardly could suspect. So you could see the soldier on a horse. He was a boy. That means a very young soldier. He might be newly appointed. A very young soldier. The soldier was smiling in joy. He was very happy. And he stepped down from the mane of horse. Horse's mane. Horse's mane means longer hair growth on the back of the neck of the horse. At the neck of the horse there would be longer hair growth. That's called as horse's mane. From it he stepped down very straightly. That's called as erect. Very straightly, because he was a soldier, no? So he stepped down very straightly. And you could hardly suspect. You here refers to again readers of the poem. Hardly means never. So you could not suspect. Suspect, suspicion, okay? Doubt. You could not make any doubt. Why? So tight he kept his lips compressed, scarce any blood came through. So you could not suspect him. Why he was closing his lips very tightly. Compressed means very tightly. So he was closing his lips very tightly because he was afraid that if he opened his lips, the blood might ooze from the mouth. So he might lose his energy. So he closed his lips very tightly. You looked twice. Yeah, you saw his breast was all but shot in two. So you can have some doubt. Why he was closing his lips very tightly, and why the blood might come from the mouth. Yeah, he was shot by 2 bullets. If we watched him carefully, we would notice the bullet shots on his chest. Even though there were 2 bullet shots on his chest, he was very eager and he was very happy to meet his chief, to inform about their victory, to inform about the capture of Ratisbon. Okay, next we are going to see the 4th stanza. Well, cried he. Here also the dialogue. Well, cried he. He refers to the soldier. Emperor, by God's grace, we have got you Ratisbon. That means they have captured Ratisbon. They have won the war. The French had won the war. The marshals in the marketplace. The marshal means the army leader. Lanes was in the marketplace. Why he was in the marketplace? The marketplace was the heart of the city. So he was there to inform the people of Ratisbon that now Ratisbon was in the hands of France, not in the hands of Austria. So the marshal was in the marketplace. And you will be there anon. Anon means soon. You here refers to Napoleon, because this is the dialogue of the soldier. So the soldier asked Napoleon to go to the marketplace very soon because now Ratisbon belonged to France. Napoleon should go there to see the French flag. In that flag, in the next line you can see, to see your flag bird flap his wings. So the soldier asked Napoleon, go to the marketplace soon to see your flag. Because the bird in the flag flap his wings. Wings means wings. So the bird, what bird is in the flag of France? Eagle. So there was an image of eagle was loading in the flag, French flag. So the flag was looking like a bird flying. According to his desire, next line, where I to heart's desire. That means according to the desire of the soldier, perched him. Perched means rested. The soldier wanted to give rest to the bird. So he himself hoisted the flag. This is the meaning of those two lines. Where I to heart's desire perched him. Perched him means I gave rest to eagle. So I hoisted the flag. Now it is flapping its wings. The chief's eye flashed. His plan soared up again like fire. So the chief's eye flashed. That means there was a light in his eye. On hearing this news, Napoleon's eyes were flashed. He thought his plans would go up like fire. The flames of fire. His plans would go up, go in the high position. Next we are going to see the last stanza. Suddenly his eyes became soft. You can see the chief's eye flashed but presently softened itself as sheets a film the mother eagle's eye when her bruised eaglet breathes. On hearing the news of victory, the chief's eyes were flashed, but suddenly there was kindness in his eyes when he saw the bullet shots on the chest of the soldier. Because now only he noticed the bullet shots. On seeing them, his eyes were covered with a layer of kindness, like a mother eagle's eyes. Here Napoleon is compared to the mother eagle. A mother eagle would become very sad with tears in his eyes when it saw the wounded eaglet. Eaglet means the child of mother eagle, the young one of mother eagle. If the eaglet was wounded by anyone, if it was near the death, the mother eagle would become very sad, as well as there would be tears in its eyes. Likewise, Napoleon became very sad on seeing his wounded soldier. You are wounded. This is the dialogue of Napoleon. You are wounded. Nay, his soldiers cried. Very proudly, the soldier refused that. Nay means no. So the the statesman, the emperor, said to the soldier that he was wounded, but the soldier very proudly said no. Touched to the quick, he said, I am killed, sire. So the soldier said that I am not wounded, I am killed. And his chief, besides smiling, the boy fell dead. So by saying these words very proudly and nearby his chief, he fell dead with smiling face. At the end of his life also, he was very true and patriotic to his country, and he respected his chief, he respected his emperor. So the theme is at whatever situation, we should not lose our duty. This is the theme of the poem. I think you well understood the poem. Thank you, girls.